And now, here's your host of Shaping Success, Wes Tankersley. Yeah, you have to think outside the box. It sounds like I've never even really thought about it that way. It's like there is, because like I'm a big connector, right? That's my thing. Like I want to meet as many people as I possibly can and talk to them like this and have a conversation and just know that, you know, you have something to offer. And if they don't know that, if you don't show them what you can do, then you'll never get the opportunity.
Right. And it's, you know, those connections I have now with people. Now I try to nominate people in Charlotte, but pretty much everyone I know has been nominated. So now I'm starting to nominate people in other markets because I've worked in all states. So the good friend of mine ran in Nashville last year and he won, and I nominated somebody in California this year going into 23, and he's going to win, I'm sure, because he's got so many connections. So and all those people, the gentleman in Nashville said, you know, he's very busy. He said, but you're busy too, and you did it, so I got to do it. So, you know, it's just sometimes connecting and having that influence. And it's hard to say no when somebody's asking you to help in the fight for cancer, you know?
Right. Well, and I mean, the thing that's crazy about it too is it's not like you're just like, you know, anyone can donate a little bit of money. You know, here's $100, here's, you know, $10, here's whatever. This is what I have. But we're talking like almost over $1 million. I mean, that's a big chunk. That goes a long way in the fight, you know?
Yeah. The impact is, you know, the night of the event, I was just focused on the finish line. And then that night, all these strangers were coming up to me. I remember this woman, her name's Elizabeth, and she was coming up and telling me about her children, her daughter's fight with cancer. And, you know, she's made it through, but she was talking to me and she was crying and she was thanking me. And it was the first time I stopped to think that money is going to help people and what it means to people, because you're just focused on the race and the, you know, finishing it. But yeah. So really afterwards is when you feel all that.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, that's got to be such a good feeling to know that you're helping that many people, but getting through the race is always important as well.
Yeah.
I've read a lot of David Goggins, and you listen to like him. Like, I mean, a marathon's way out of my realm. Like, I have a bad knee. Like I have a new knee I got last year. It's like probably about a year old actually. But I've never really been a very good runner, but I've had pretty bad genetics in that. And it's just like, I'm sitting here listening to him talk to me about running on broken legs. And I'm like, I'm weak.
No.
It's amazing what they're doing. I mean, like you think about a marathon's like 26 miles, right? So, or more than that, but a little bit over 26. I don't know the math because I don't do it.
26.2.
26.2. There we go. I knew it was a little bit over. And you probably remember every 26.2 miles.
Yeah, you do.
But he was raising, you know, in his book, he talks about raising money he does like the ultra marathons. And I'm like, man, dude, you're nuts. I am not doing that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do the first one. And now you're talking about like these 24-hour races where you're, yeah. No.
I know. It's impressive, but yeah.
But it's a lot of mind over matter. Just like anything you do, it's the biggest barrier is right between your two ears, because it's telling you that you can't, and telling you that you're tired, and telling you that you're sore. And then you're just like, I'm not pushing anymore. And I think that's the biggest struggle with most people.
Yeah, your body will do it. Your mind has to control it.
Yep, exactly. So you've done so much. I mean, it's amazing the things that you've done, and I'm really glad for this conversation, because I think it's just, you're killing it. So what's next though? Like I know that people like you that are doing these types of things do not stop. Like someone said, do you look at like success as the end of the goal, right? So like, are you done when you've reached that goal? You don't seem like the type of person who's done. So what's next?
and I never know what's going to come next, because it just kind of finds me. Of course, the work with LLS will continue. I am now working with our internal charity arm of our organization, and I'm heading that up. I think I'm going to make a big impact in how we can raise funds and help families and kids, and that's where we're about. But I'm not sure what else is next, and it tends to find me. Like when the first marathon found me, it just found me, and then the other things that I've done just materialized. So I think I'm always looking, and I am always trying to find out what I can do. I was asked a question in a meeting recently: what what do you want to do that you're afraid to do? And there's probably 20 people who answered it. When it came to me, I said, I don't have an answer, because there are things like I'm afraid of heights, so I'm not going to jump out of an airplane. But there isn't anything I want to do that I'm afraid of. And it's because I've done things like this that, in theory scared me, but then I did them, or I did or I didn't. So I'm not afraid, which is probably a good thing and a bad thing at the same time. But I don't know I'm not sure what's going to come, but there will definitely be something.
If someone offered to give you a really big donation, would you jump out in an airplane?
Oh yeah, it had to be really big, but because I'm really afraid, but I would do it. I mean, we're trying to save lives, yeah, but it have to be really big.
Yeah, I could jump out of an airplane. I've never done it before, but I'm pretty sure I could do it, because one of my things, like I'm a big Superman fan, and like that would be the closest thing to being Superman. I feel like jumping out of an airplane, I'm flying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, it's, I appreciate you reaching out, because like one of the things that I've decided with this podcast, and not to say that you're not qualified to be on here, but I think that with this, and you are and that's why I said that, because like your list of things that you do is like really what I want people to see. I want them to understand that no matter what you're doing, it was great. The McDonald's thing in the beginning was just great to me. It's like, you started out at McDonald's, and that guy did his job, but then also told you to go against the grain. And it's a good thing you don't know his name, because he's probably still working there, and you don't want him to get in trouble. But
yeah,
it's just amazing, because people who are successful are right around us, and we always look for these people who are like super famous, right? That's always I'd love to have Gary Vee on. I'd love to have Lewis Howes on. I'd love to talk Tony Robbins. But the people who are inspiring are the people like you, the people who are doing the actual work behind the scenes, and no one really knows, because they don't push it out there like that. They're not, it's a great thing that you're doing, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. There's people everywhere, right? There's so many people to be inspired by, especially in tough times, right? I keep looking
that's
for
the hard thing, is like they don't hype that, right? People don't hype the things that you're doing. You have to do it yourself, and they're not. This is not something that is going to be on the national news, right? But you've done big things, and that's the unfortunate thing. It's like they're showing everyone the bad things that are happening, but they're not showing the good people who are doing the good things. So I'm glad to be able to share your story with people.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Do you have, is there anywhere, so if anyone wants to reach out to you or donate or do anything on anything that you're doing, is there a way to find you? I found you on TikTok, so that's where I know you from.
Yes. I'd say probably the biggest is LinkedIn. And I don't have a link right now, but I will add a link for LLS, because I'm always happy to take donations for LLS too. So I'm on, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all those places.
So are you on there for fun, or is it a lot of it for work?
So everything but TikTok is work. Well, Facebook's a little bit of both. It's fundraising and work. And most of the people, like the LinkedIn people, don't know about TikTok until now.
Sorry, I outed you.
No, it's okay. TikTok is decidedly not work, but it's fun, right?
Yeah. Oh no, and that's the funny thing is that's where I've found my biggest audience, but it doesn't really, what's going on with it right now is kind of a mess. So we'll see what happens, see where that goes. I'm kind of pushing more towards YouTube, because it seems like that's going to be a better avenue, or I'm getting the same type of like analytics from YouTube that I'm getting from TikTok now. So it's kind of weird.
Yeah. TikTok for me is a little bit about face my fear, right? Because I won't let anyone take my picture. Now I can film 100 and post one, but still I'm doing something, right? So that's why I started doing it. And then it's, it's fun. So
let's talk a little bit about that picture thing, because I feel the same way. What is the issue with that? Like, are you, like, for me, it's just self-conscious. That's really.
Yeah. I hate seeing pictures of myself. I tell people it's because I was the youngest of 7 kids, and by the time I was around, nobody took any pictures. So I, make light of it that I didn't grow up having my picture taken, but I hate pictures of myself. So,
Yeah. Well, you sent me some, and you look like you do fine, but I'm assuming that you probably went through 1,000 of them before you.
Yeah, those are, yes, I did.
That's what I
did.
do. Same thing.
I'm exactly embedded in improved pictures, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I hope to make sure that you send me that link in an email too, and I'll put it on the show notes so everyone can find that as well. But I'd love to help out with that, getting people, to see that, because I think that it's a great thing that you're doing, as well as all your other cool things that you did.
Thank you. It's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, everyone. Well, that is the end of the show. Such a great interview. There's so much to unpack there. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Like I said, if you could please like, share, and review on Apple Podcasts. Help me to grow the show, because you know what? Without you, there's no me. Until next time, I challenge you to find a way to shape your success.